Put the kids to bed, dad's home. We are the DWO podcast, representing the Dad World Order. I am the handsome head of household, Mr. Magnificent, Mike Martin. And with me, as always, the rest of the Patriarch pack. He is the big, bad, bearded daddy. He is Big Rig, Eric Maffey.
Honk if you hear me, baby.
And he is the perpetual Mig Carter. And the two-time world record holding. He is the wrestling t-shirt guy. He is Cephus. He is the birthday boy.
Happy birthday to me.
Happy birthday, big dog.
And what a great gift we have for my birthday, man.
Absolutely. Well, as Mr. Magnificent said, we are the DWO podcast. It is Cephas's birthday, and tonight we have with us a very special guest, a resident of Dayton. Pretty much everybody up there knows him, Mr. Jeremy Ganger. Sir, how the heck are you?
Great. How you guys doing?
Fantastic.
Great to be here.
Hunky dory.
Absolutely. Actually, I muffed that intro a little bit because should have included in there honorary NXT champion Jeremy Ganger.
I got my belt right behind me on the wall.
Yeah.
Ah.
Oh wow, that's awesome. Where you got that uploaded, don't you?
There we go.
There we go.
Look at
That belt right there is on my wall hanging.
Yeah. Also in the ring with, in my opinion, two huge legends as well. Obviously Triple H, but for those who don't know about Drake Wirtz, he's one of the deathmatch legends. He was the referee holding his hand on the other side there. That's somebody I like as well.
No shit.
Yeah.
Huh. It's a little fun fact.
He is an opinionated young man, and I'll be honest, sometimes he says things I don't like. But if we're talking purely about pro wrestling, Drake is awesome. He's one of those guys that does death matches that doesn't just kill himself the whole time. You know what I mean? He has moves.
A little story to him.
Yeah, a little bit.
Heck yeah. Well, yeah, man. You want to kind of run us through, because I wasn't fully aware of your whole story until Cephus kind of told it to me. What was that whole experience like, being invited to NXT and everything like that?
Oh, what was funny about it is when they were reaching out to me, and I thought it was a rib. So
how would you not?
I just ignored it. I just kept ignoring it, and then finally, Sammy Callahan called me up, and he's like, "Hey, look, there's this guy that's going to call you, and he really is who he says he is. So talk to him." I was like, "Man, are you part of this rib too or not?" And he's like, "No, I'm serious. WWE really wants to talk to you." So about 2 days went by, and they finally got the invite. And when I got to go there, man, it was just the most amazing experience to go there and be treated like one of them. I mean, it was great. Every person I saw there gave me a hug and welcomed me in like I was one of them. And I won't forget Shawn Michaels at the very end took me outside and prayed with me. And Tomasa, that dude, that's a big guy, but he picked me up in the air, hugged me, called me hero every time he saw me.
That's awesome.
It was a great experience.
I mean, well, Triple H said it, man. You are one of them. You know, I think just because you ain't signed doesn't mean you ain't one of that. In my opinion, anyway, doesn't mean you aren't one of them. So.
Yeah, so for those of you, we're not going to go too deep into exactly what happened, but for those of you who aren't aware, there was a shooting in March, I believe it was March 27th, right?
August 4th, 2019.
What? I got the whole date wrong there.
Samsonite.
Yeah, geez. Either way, August 4th, 2019, there was a shooting in the Oregon district of Dayton, Ohio, and man, basically went on the best way to put it, he went on a shooting rampage, and he killed 9 people, including his sister. And as he was being taken down, the person who took him down was our guest here tonight, Mr. Jeremy Ganger. He did suffer a little bit, I believe, from what I read. You had some shrapnel that bounced into your leg, I believe it was.
Yeah, still have it to this day.
Also, it's a non-removable piece.
He ushered in, like, what was it, like 200 plus people into the place you were standing in front of.
It was over 200 people. They estimated between 3 and 350. We got people in the door as much as we could, and
Just
it was
out of harm's way.
Yeah.
Wow.
I gotta say, man, the very fact that you stood there at the door lets me that's like, don't get me wrong. I was proud to see it was a local person that was the hero of the night, but I was even more proud to see that it was a wrestler standing tall. You know what I mean? Because wrestling is very near and dear to me, and it was cool to know who it was as well, but to see that it was that style of person right there standing, and from what I understand, you stood the guard of the door and we're going to defend it with your life, and that's something I think is more commendable. That seems like anything could make the NXT championship trivial. That's it right there. I mean, the level of heroism you showed, it's truly commending. It's awesome, man. It really is.
Thank you. It means a lot, man. Believe it or not, it means the world to me. It's something I deal with every day, and it's changed my life completely. So,
well, that's what they say, man. If you can find the silver lining to a cloud, or if when you're going through hell, you can see heaven at the end of the street, it's easier to deal with. You know what I mean? And if you're able to, find that silver lining in that cloud, that's a really good thing. Because death at its very core is sacrifice. You know what I mean? It's a cessation of an energy so other energy can perpetuate. You know what I mean? And it's an interesting thing to think about. But I find it hard to articulate exactly what I'm trying to say here. But it's an honor to have you on here, man. And I feel like there wouldn't, if you wouldn't have been there at that door, this could have been a lot worse of a story. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, I don't know.
I mean, our 6 Dayton cops. I mean, I always tell everybody they're the heroes. I did what anyone else would have done. I feel.
No.
So.
Well, I mean, and to think like that under pressure. I mean, everybody probably thinks, yeah, I would be able to do that, but that is a base nature fight or flight situation. And I'm sure there are a lot of people out there that might flee in that situation, which you can't say you blame them. So to step up in that kind of situation, it really shows character for sure. So I definitely agree with Cephus on his sentiment, and it's definitely an honor to have you on here, man.
Thank you. It's my honor. Thank you guys for having me here. For real, it means a lot to me.
Not to mention, you're a kick-ass wrestler, man. So how long have you been in the
death matches too? So,
hey, hang on, real quick. Sorry, before we get into that, but before the show, you were talking about how you work with mental health and things of that nature. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Is that something that you were in before the shooting, or is that something that you got in?
Believe it or not, I got into it afterwards. There was a gentleman in the city of Dayton reached out to me, thought I'd be a good fit because of what happened that night. And he said that my character showed a lot. And so I ran with it. And just, I mean, on your birthday, I'll be honest with you, I got my CDCA today. Just graduated with that today. So
congratulations, man.
So helping people with mental health disorders and drug addictions and alcohol issues, it's the best. It's not even a job. It's seeing them come back, being healthy. It's a payday.
Yeah. And that's I was going to say, that's got to be something, because that's kind of what I thought might have happened, like something like that happens to you and you're like, hey, how can I prevent this so nobody has to do that ever again, something like that. So that's really cool, man.
That's the one thing people talk about. They always, like all these shootings that you see, they always blame it on mental health. And, I deal with mental health every day. They're not out shooting people.
Right.
Mental health is not the main reason.
Yeah.
I would say it's definitely got something to do with it, man. But at the same time, it's a lot more than that. It's it's a lot more factors.
Yeah.
But with that being said, man, try to move into brighter pastures. How long have you been wrestling, brother? How long of a career do you have at this point?
I've been doing wrestling now for about 20 years. I started at age 26.
Okay.
And I am 46 now, so
Ha, finally. Not the oldest guy in the room.
yeah, I'm a dad too, so
Hell yeah.
Yeah, we always love it.
How many
Well,
kids
you know
do
what?
got?
With him being a dad, Mike, I feel like you got to ask the question before
Oh,
we
I
forget.
think I already know this, but what do you keep your thermostat set to?
whatever she says.
Oh, that might be the perfect answer.
No,
What?
no, it's at 73 degrees in my house.
Wrong answer.
You say 73?
Yeah, she's only 3.
Oh, okay.
Ah, okay.
Come on, she's only 3.
I retract.
I was always told I could never have kids, so
Hey,
Oh,
it's a special
So-
thing to have, man, for sure.
heck yeah.
man, it's the best thing in the world.
Oh, it really
we
is.
did, man. We just were at Revolver on Sunday, and I got to. Fortunately enough, I was able to bring my daughter with me. She's 7, and she had these guys can attest to it. She had the freaking time of her life.
Bro,
there
and
and
every
being able
wrestler
to-
treated her so great.
Yeah.
So great.
Emi
That's what-
Sakura came out and put her crown on her and like took
Yeah.
pictures with her. Bert Vixen gave her glasses, like just all kinds of stuff, man.
Good.
She held
That's
the
how we
Grand
wanted
Prix
it, kid.
trophy up with Billy Starks
Yeah.
after
at
she
the,
won it.
At the end of the show.
Oh, I forgot
That's
about
awesome,
that part.
man. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So
My daughter's chopping me now at 3.
Oh, that's great.
yeah. Oh,
She's doing
mine
the spitting
started
on
to
her
chop
hand.
me.
She's doing the spitting on her hands and chopping me now.
Learn from the best, Dad.
That's
Oh,
amazing.
man. There ain't nothing like it, man. People always said before I had my kids, "Oh, you don't know till you have kids. Once you see them for the first time, you know what real love is." I'm like, yeah, whatever. But
Yep.
it's true, man. It's
It
true.
is true.
You can prepare for it. You know what I mean? We found out when I have an older daughter as well, but when my wife was pregnant with my middle daughter, we found out at like week 2. So it felt like she was pregnant for 6.5 years. And when she finally had her, man, it's just that moment she's there. You can anticipate it, but it's so different. Talk about a undying love. You know what I mean? Unconditional. I remember,
It's amazing, man.
yeah.
Couldn't talk about her enough.
Talk about humbling you, man, too.
Oh, dude, we've done it before. I could do an hour just talking about me and my kids, adventures or whatever. And she's only 7, but we've had some pretty good ones. So
Yeah, just worldwide pay-per-view. She was on Sunday.
yeah, whatever, not a big deal.
Go to school, show all her friends like, "Oh yeah, what's up, dog? Check it out."
Yeah, and like so the women for the women's Grand Prix, they all got these little like wooden medallions that were like engraved and everything. And Emi Sakura signed hers and gave it to my daughter.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's
Cool
awesome.
stuff. Like that's the first ever one. Like
Only
when I
8
told
of
her,
those
I was like,
exist.
listen, there are only 8 of these in the world. And she was like, really? And I was like, yeah. So it's a big deal. And
she put it up on eBay immediately.
No
Right.
way.
It was crazy.
nah,
keep
that's just personalized, man.
You keep that shit till Emi Sakura goes into some Hall of Fame somewhere, and then you eBay it. But it was
That's
cool,
it.
man.
Very
We
cool.
made her a
Very
sign
cool.
that said, because Emmy is his daughter's name as well. So we
Yes,
had a sign
yeah.
that said, "Hi, Emmy. My name's Emmy." And that immediately, once Emmy Sakura saw that, she was like, "Yep, that's my kid for the night."
Yeah. She even told us, she's like, when I come out for my entrance, put her up near the front and had her standing. And like she's got the cape and the crown. She took the crown off, put it on her head, took the cape, flung it over her, and Emmy's just standing there like, I don't know what to do. But yeah, she had a good time.
So has your kiddo seen you perform yet?
Yeah. My
Yeah.
daughter's Her mom didn't like it, but my daughter saw me do a hardcore blood match.
Oh,
Oh,
no.
God.
Wow.
You're sheesh, McFoley. God.
So my
Now tell all
daughter,
your boyfriends what your dad does for a living.
Yeah.
my daughter saw that, and yeah, explain that one to her mom.
Oh,
Yeah.
good.
I feel so. Your daughter, Noelle Foley, and Nora Moxley need to get into like a support group and be like, hey, all our dads bleed for a living. Let's talk about it. Yeah.
My daughter saw skiers go in my head. She's seen pictures of skiers in my head, light tubes on my back. She's seen it all.
Yeah, I saw the picture of the skiers.
Yeah, I did one at FGW. I had skiers in my head, and then some plates in my head, all kinds of crazy stuff.
So, out of all the stuff that you've done, what's the most? Is there a single most painful weapon or incident that you can be like, "Oh, that was it. That was one where we shouldn't have done that." Is there?
Oh man, that's easy. When I used to wrestle with Matt Tremont all the time, we travel, and we did a light too. You name it, we did it. But the one thing I always hated we did was Legos.
Really?
Oh, God.
Dude,
my
that has to
God,
suck.
That hurts. I took a power bomb on top of Legos, and that's really hurt.
Yeah, dude, I step on one of my daughter's Legos and I'm crying about it. Like, no.
I'll take a power bomb all day long through a burning table with barbed wire on it versus Legos.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Wow.
Also, casual name drop on Matt Tremont there, one of the most decorated deathmatch wrestlers on earth. It's awesome.
Yeah, at 20 years, I already know you've definitely got some cool industry friends, but you probably have a lot that we don't even realize.
Oh, yeah, probably. But that's one of my favorites.
It always
Yeah, Matt's a
amazes
good
me
dude. Go ahead.
how much of a like hotbed of professional wrestling Dayton is, and how much talent is just stewing right there.
Well,
It has been
so
for
much.
years.
Yeah. I mean, there's so much here in Dayton. It's not even funny. I mean, now they got, you guys were talking about your Revolver show this past weekend. You got the school right there here in Dayton area now. I mean, they got so much raw talent here in Dayton. It's not even funny.
I believe XPW operates in Dayton as well, right?
Yeah, so I wrestled for them tonight.
Yeah, I was say that's
There you go.
where you were.
Yeah, I wrestled Ron Mathis tonight.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Ron
I know
Matt.
you guys, yeah.
I know exactly who that is. I actually was thinking about reaching out to him as well.
Yeah, we just did a street fight, and now we're doing another street fight together on the 20th for that company.
Okay.
Must have went well.
Oh, it went real well. Real well.
Heck yeah.
I'm still tripping on the Legos, dude. Oh, God.
Dude, it hurt.
That's not what I expected you to say. I expect you to be like, "Oh man, light tubes in the mouth. Don't do that. That was terrible." No, you're like, "Nope, Legos."
Legos, man. Legos is the worst.
That's
I had an opponent of mine put Legos in my mouth and super kicked me once. I don't like Legos.
That had to blow. I can only imagine the million cuts inside of your mouth.
Well, he
from
was
that.
doing it, and I was like, "What's going on here?" Didn't tell me nothing. Just put it right in my mouth. We're in Alabama, and gave me a super kick.
Oh.
Oh man.
So we actually had talked to a tag team before called the Stepdads. They're out of New Jersey, and I remember one of the things they told me. I was like, "What's the worst bump you ever took?" And they said laundry basket, power bomb through a laundry basket, because the sides didn't go down and they just basically like stabbed up into his ribs. I'm like, oh God, that has to be horrible. But I think Legos would probably be worse.
I don't like Legos. I took a power bomb once before to a table, the barbed wire all wrapped around it, hit concrete, and that didn't hurt that bad. Legos just is the worst for me. They suck.
That kind of perspective, though, is just
Yeah.
I've been powerbombed to a flaming barbed wire wrapped table, and it was still better than Legos.
I'm telling you, because it made the Legos stick to your back, and you just feel it. You feel it a lot more.
There's those edges, man. They don't give.
Well, at least you got some, pre-gaming for whenever the kiddo gets into Legos herself. I can handle
Yeah,
that.
bullshit. There'll be no damn Legos in this house.
My daughter has no Legos, and never will. She's 3. No Legos here.
Sign on the front door says No
No Legos.
Legos.
She gonna be 16 years old. She's like, man, I can't have Legos at home. Dad said no. I couldn't do that. I've got Legos everywhere. Not to mention they just announced Lego Animal Crossing. I got to buy every single one of those because But so speaking of wrestling, man, I'm going to bring out a picture here. So can you tell us around how long ago this was?
Gosh, that's because that's
I see Heather Owens in the back
in the
there.
background. That's the I don't even know who that guy is anymore. That's probably a good, let's see, 15 years ago. Yeah, because Shane took that picture. Yeah, so that's good 15, 16 years ago. Or
That's back-
longer.
That's
That
back
was
when they was calling you the Pitbull Jeremy Ganger, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
No,
they
they
still, I
was-
mean, they still do, but
They call me that. That's when everyone just called me Pitbull Ganger. Then after a
Yeah.
while, everyone found out my full name. So now it's just, I just
Yeah.
go with it. What's the
hey,
point?
whatever.
It works for me.
I mean,
Pitbull's very
Pitbull.
fitting.
Yeah, Pitbull's fitting because the first time I saw you, I was that Revolver for the battle royal they did, and you just came out freaking tree trunk neck holding a trash can lid, and I'm like, who the fuck is this guy? And Cephus is like, that's Ganger, and I'm like, I don't know who that is. Then you go in there, just start. And I'm like, yep, that fits for sure. That was awesome.
Yeah, the funny part about that is we're in back. You had these three entrants that no one knew about, and I was like, I'm the only one that's going to go out here with no pop.
Bullshit. I pop.
Oh shit.
Then we get to the ring, and I went to the corner where the ladies were at. And they're like, told you get a big pop. Told you would.
I mean, to be fair, Cephus did almost have an aneurysm when Shark Boy came out. That's for sure.
Oh yeah.
We were all popping in the ring for. Let's just be real. We all popped for him.
Oh man. Yeah, we just spoke to him this past weekend. He was at Revolver as well, and he's agreed to be on the show. We're gonna set a date here soon and record an episode with him. To talk about a bucket list guest for me. I literally told these guys the whole week before Revolver. I was like, "Look, Shark Boy's gonna be there. My whole goal is we're gonna get him on the show." And I got there and I went to the potty and I come back out and Eric's like, "He already agreed to be on the show." I was like, "What?" I was like,
Oh,
"Yeah."
Dude, I went up to him and because I wanted to get a Shark Boy shirt because the last time we saw him there, I think we were like leaving out of there real quick. I wasn't able to get a shirt or anything, and he was there early. And I was like, "Oh, dude, I got to get a shirt." And I just kind of started talking to him. I was like, "Hey," because he loved our shirts, the Dad World Order. He was like, "Oh, that's awesome! I love that." And I was like, "You want a shirt?" He's like, "Yeah, sure." And I'm like, "What's your size?" XL. Mike, give me an XL. And gave it to him. And I could charge Shark Boy for a shirt. Come on now. But yeah, and then I was just like, "Hey, if you want to come on the show," he's like, "Yeah, hit me up on Twitter. We'll figure it out." I'm like, "There we go."
X now. I can't. People have referred to it as X, and I can't do it.
Yeah, I can't. It's gonna take a while.
It even says like when you post something, it says this tweet. Okay, I'm not
still
tweeting
tweets,
on
yeah.
X. Okay, I'm not Xing on X. I'm tweeting on Twitter. My God, sorry, old man rant out.
That's why I don't have
Back
one.
in my day, we called it Twitter.
What was your Twitter that had a little birdie?
It'll always be Twitter to me.
Well, see, for me, back in my day, we got on the internet, you hear the phone dial.
Yeah.
Yeah.
AOL, baby. Chat rooms were fire.
Oh my gosh.
I
What was
remember
what was your screen name, Mike?
I have no idea.
I know mine.
What was yours?
Big can of whoop ass at
Big-
yahoo.com. That was my first ever. I was 10 years old, I think, and 97 with an AOL disc.
Mine was get her done to have fun.
Oh man.
I was in
look
grade
back-
school and I picked that because I was a fan of Larry the Cable Guy. And I was like, "Oh, get her done." And then I was like, to have fun.
So
I don't. That wasn't
Speaking of-
anything fun. I don't think.
So speaking of having fun, man, and us, marking out for Shark Boy, you're 20 years in this game. Do you still find yourself, fanboying over any wrestlers, or is it generally just like, whatever, or is there still a few that kind of get you being a fan,
Honestly, to be honest with you guys, when I got to meet Triple H, I was pretty big fanboy. I mean, because like you know, when you're brought up in the business, everybody says, "Hey, don't get pictures, don't get pictures." So that's the mentality I was always brought up, and I wish I didn't listen to any of those guys because I would have all these pictures of all these other guys. But man, I marked out to every single one of them, and the very first person I remember that I opened the door for at the NXT arena was Alexis Bliss. She was standing outside the door, and I turned around my head and I recognized her, and I was like, "Oh, I'll open the door for her." And security was like, "Hey, we can't open." Like, you guys should know who she is. She works here for you. But man, that was the first one I marked out for. But Triple H, I definitely marked out for. I got so nervous even just talking to him. We had a one-on-one interview.
I can only imagine.
Man, that's the first one I've ever really marked out hard for.
Man.
I mean, you're a step away from Vince, man. But Triple H, you know, I would be there too. And saying you get to go, you know, have prayer with Shawn Michaels, dude, like get out of here, dude. I think about out of this world experience, once in a lifetime, and
The best part, a lot of people don't know about this. Like when I got called to the ring to come out and get that belt, it was funny because they brought me to the back. They wanted me to come back. They were, "Hey, we want to show you production and see how it's going." So I'm sitting next to the Shawn Michaels, sitting next to Road Dogg. Like, "Hey, how you doing, kid?" I was like, "Hey, nice to meet you guys." You know, we just shake hands. They're just sitting next to me too. And then all of a sudden we see Triple H go out to the ring. I was like, "What's going on?" And that's when Shawn Michaels, "Good luck, kid. You're going to the ring."
Oh,
no one told me.
You didn't know you were going in. Wow.
I did not know I was going. No one said a word to me about it at all. No one even told me anything about it. And then when I go out there and I come back, that's when Shawn Michaels, he pulls me outside the studio and goes, "Dude, you know, none of us knew why you were here. Only like a handful of guys knew why I was there. That's because they saw it on the internet. But the rest of the people had no idea why I was there."
Wow. Man, that's got to be awesome, dude. I've met Shawn several times. I've gotten to see Shawn up close and personal, but Triple H is is somebody that I've never been able to cross that path with. But one of these days, he's gonna be on the Dad World Order podcast, and it's gonna be awesome.
Dude, when he told me, he's like, "Dude," he goes, when he told me, "Man, you're so much loved here. We love having you here, man." That was the best thing that's ever happened. That lifted up my spirits that day, big time.
And no one can take that away, man. You are an honorary NXT champion. That's official. While it may not be in the official lineage of the title, there is an addendum in that record book that has honorary champions, and there's not that many, bro. But you're there. Yeah, you know what I mean? That's pretty cool, dude. That's you know, you may not won the main event of WrestleMania, but dude, that's got to be up there. You know what I mean? That's
for me. That's that was my WrestleMania moment.
Yeah.
That's 100% sure for me.
I remember seeing the video. I think it was the day after that the WWE posted it, and I was at lunch at work. And I was screaming like, "Yes, that's my dude!" Like I was like, man. I was telling the dude I worked with at the time. He had no idea anything about wrestling. I was like, "That's fucking ganger." He's like, "I don't know what that means, dude, but cool." Like, it's like it's a local.
Cephus sent us the video. I had never seen it before. He was like, "Yeah, he's an honorary NXT champion." I was like, "Oh, no shit." And he sent the video. And man, you just get chills watching that. It's so that's one of the reasons I love wrestling is just moments like that where you're like, man, wrestling's pretty effing cool.
Yeah.
Because I did that.
You can have cool matches, but moments like that.
You remember when Mick Foley came to town? The comedy show?
Yeah.
He had me and Shark Boy come up on stage with him at his show.
Speaking of Shark Boy and Mick Foley,
Mankind, right there.
That is Mick Foley is my favorite wrestler.
Show him the tattoo
all time.
Dude, he was awesome too. I mean, he was great.
Yeah.
Have a nice day.
If you never went to one of his stand-up comedies, they're hilarious. Actually.
Yeah.
I've never been able to. I did get to meet him at Squared Circle Expo last year. That was an amazing moment for me.
Shout out to Ed Gonzalez.
Yeah, shout out to Ed Gonzalez. But I would love to go. If does he still do them? Do you know?
I don't know. I know he does a lot of things for a friend of mine here in Dayton. So, like when she does a lot of charity events, and he'll help out with her. So I know he does a lot of that stuff for her.
Heck yeah.
So.
He's just a good dude, man.
Dude, it was great. I mean, the stories we got to talk about. Just I ain't gonna lie, marked out with him too. Got pictures with him.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Hey man,
Well,
to
and-
quote Madman Pondo just recently, take the goddamn picture. So,
Yeah. I was gonna say that I've seen that a lot more, not just with Pondo. There have been a lot of people saying like, you never know. Take the picture, man. Just
you
Yep.
never know, man.
I
mean,
wish
look
I
at
would have
look at
that
Bray.
mentality. I would have took a lot more pictures.
Bray. All you know what I mean. There's tons of feed merch up there to the point where I don't know. It's hard to look at this point, but at the same time, like, you know what I mean. Like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how to take it anymore. You know what I mean. But at the same time, I wish I would have spent that extra money when I was at WrestleMania 34 in Tampa, or not 34. I don't know. WrestleMania in Tampa when we came back from COVID. I really wish I would have went to that meet and greet. You know what I mean? But it is what it is. So that's why I'm a big proponent. Take the fucking picture.
Yep, take them.
Take them. Which is by next time I see you, we're getting a picture, dog. For sure, man. So, what got you into wrestling, man? Who pulled you in? Who was your first guy?
I'll name one of the names. I can. The guy that brought me in was Jake Chris. I was doing some local wrestling here in the Dayton area for a company, and back in the day, remember, I don't know if you guys ever went to HWA, but they had a 3-ring battle royal.
Yeah.
So they brought me in there, introduced me to Cody Hawk there. Jake introduced me to Cody Hawk. I went there with him and got to meet Cody Hawk. He liked the way I look. He liked the way, because I want to build you up as a big suplex type of guy. So that's how it took off for me there. And I went to HWA, trained there, and won. Technically, I'm the last TV champ there before they closed their doors.
Wow.
Oh, shit.
Okay. Yeah, he saw
Forever
you and
champ.
he's like, this guy looks like Taz. Let's do it. Super
That's what he did. Those training days for me were a lot different than other people's.
Yeah.
Because I worked a night shift job, so Cody would have me come up to Cincinnati. We trained Monday through Friday during the day together. I get done, I take a quick hose shower bath, grab something to eat, go to work every night.
Whew.
How do you sleep?
Exactly.
Didn't
That's why they
sleep
call
much
it
at
the
all.
pitbull.
But
Tenacious.
man, it was worth it.
Yeah,
So-
absolutely.
I work night shift too.
Yeah.
So when did the
know-
tattoos come about, man? Is there a story behind the tattoos, or did you just
The
like that
tattoo on my
design?
back was just something that was I've always like a sign about the demon that's inside of you,
Yeah.
with the eyes coming out of my back. And then the tattoo on my arm was something I always talked about getting with a friend of mine that does my tattoos, and I finally just went ahead and did it. So I mean, I love skeletons and all the fun stuff.
My favorite are your chains in the front. I really like that design, man. I think
Yeah,
that's
it's
pretty neat.
something a guy in Columbus came up with, and it's just supposed to represent what's the inner demon coming out of you.
But it's really nice. I think that was one of the first things when I saw it. I was like, oh, I like that. I
It's
like
something
that.
different.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So
I took it as you were carrying some sort of burden or carrying some sort of I guess.
Yeah, I didn't know if it had
bird.
Yeah.
Greek mythology references or not at all. I didn't know if there was anything
No,
deep to it or not.
Huh?
You just
Just the inner
Oh, yeah.
demon.
hell yeah. So Jake brought you into wrestling itself, but who attracted you to wrestling? Who was your first big fan? For me it was probably Stone Cold Steve Austin. Who was your first the guy that you really liked growing up?
There's two of them.
Okay.
Taz was my number one favorite. And well, I shouldn't say two, there was three. It was Taz, Kevin Sullivan, and the other one was just something, we don't talk about him no more.
Oh, I know exactly who you're talking about. He's
So-
over on my shelf over there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even though he, what he did, great professional in the ring.
Yeah.
Love watching him in the ring. What he did outside the ring, I'll never agree with, but the suplexes, the chops, and stuff he did, the diving headbutt, I loved it.
Yep. It's a shame, man,
Gotcha.
because
Yeah.
shit like that, you go back and like WrestleMania 20 was such a great culmination, and now you look back at it and it's just so tainted.
Yeah.
It's hard to enjoy it like we should be able to. But It is what it is. It's life, man. You know, we get these weird chapters in our life. That was one of the few times I ever stopped watching wrestling for a little while. What was that?
Yeah.
Didn't last very long, but I definitely did a couple months
Don't
without
say.
it. Though. Yeah.
No, I was the same way, man. He was definitely a favorite of mine. I loved his way he worked, the entrance music, all of it, and then all that happened, and you're just like, well, that sucks. That I cheer, like it makes you feel like guilty almost that you cheered for him, but then you're fighting with all that. So
Yeah, like I said, I mean, in the ring, great performer, loved watching him, but just what he did outside is
Unforgivable.
Yep, no doubt about it. So you said Taz and Kevin Sullivan. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Taz, obviously, I think he's a favorite for a lot of people. Is that something that you were like, you would kind of like watch matches of his and stuff like that, and not necessarily repeat what he did, but kind of just pick up things from him or anything?
I want to pick up all the suplexes he was doing.
Yeah.
The Taz suplex. I love them all, especially I would watch a lot of him and Bam Bam Bigelow.
Ooh.
So I watched their matches, and the stuff those two would do to each other is just unbelievable. So I wanted to learn every single suplex I could.
Bam Bam, something special.
I need to go back and watch some Bam Bam, like earlier stuff before he got older, and just get a new, kind of a new educated eye on it.
Dude, watching that dude do a moonsault is one of the most, and still to this day, one of the most insane things I've ever seen.
Well, how big was he?
He was quite big. I'm pretty sure.
He was 3 something.
I'm gonna Google it.
3, yeah.
I think he was billed at 400.
So Bam Bam Bigelow was a 400, close to 400-pound frame, and it says that he was. Let's see how tall he was. 6'4", 390 pounds.
Wow.
So I basically like a supersized Crash Jackson. Like Jesus Christ. Crash isn't nowhere near as hefty as Bam is or was, but Crash, that's why I'm bringing him up though, is he kind of reminds me of that fire that Bam had, because while he's a bigger guy, Bam could flip and fly and moonsault
the same way.
Yeah,
agile as shit.
I think Jackson can move more.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
He can.
Have you guys worked together? You versus Crash?
I got to work Crash, and was one of my dreams that I wanted to work him before I got out of this business, and I got to work him once. So yeah, it was great. Yeah. Loved it.
Well, hopefully
we love Crash, man.
I'd like to see that at Revolver. Shit,
dude, I love working him. He's so. I watched him from day one, from his career all the way up to where he's at now.
Talk about 2 big meaty men slapping meat.
Yeah, you guys. That'd be a hell of a match.
I love to work him again. I loved working him. I loved working him. I loved working with Sammy a few times. I got the chance to do that. I got to work with Sammy a lot actually in HWA.
Yeah.
That was a great time working with him.
Sammy's got something special in his head, man. He's got a brain. He's got a hell of a brain for wrestling, and he does it well. I hope that we are right, and that he gets to take Revolver to a whole nother level, because he's got a lot of something in him.
Sammy's got his mindset when it comes to wrestling and the business of it. If you ever get, oh man, it will blow your mind away. And the kind of guy he really is, it will blow your mind away. His heart is just huge. We've been friends for a very, very, very long time. Lived with me, all that great stuff. But man, he's just an amazing man all around.
Yeah, we're trying to get him on the show, man. So maybe shoot him a text, now that he's a free agent, be like, hey, those dad guys. He knows us well as we sponsor Revolver, but
it's hard to talk to him on a show day though, because his mind is in a million different places.
Yeah, don't even try to talk to him on a show day.
I just give him a nod as he walks by.
Hey. Yeah. I mean, we were up in Iowa, and he actually came up and like had a conversation with us, and was like, it was like a happy conversation, like, oh, da, 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 da. And I'm like, what's happening right now? Like,
I don't know how to act.
I've literally heard you say like 4 words to us in the 8 shows we've been to, and we're having a full blown conversation. So that was pretty cool.
He wore our hat to the ring that
He
night.
did. He wore a hat out to the ring. That was awesome.
Yeah. That's the shit we're living for, man. That's what we want, dog. I mean, I wrestled a little bit, you know what I mean, but I didn't have nowhere near the career that I wanted to, but I didn't want to leave pro wrestling behind, and I found a way for me not to. I get to chat with people that I grew up watching, grew up hanging out with, you know what I mean, and now I get, you know, we had Al Snow on a couple weeks ago, you know, and that's just like, what, like Al Snow? We're about to have Shark Boy on, you know, and to some people they're like, oh, I don't know who these are, who these people are, but for me, it's like, oh, that's. You talk about masked wrestlers. I think Shark Boy deserves to be on the Rushmore of masked wrestlers. You know what I mean? And then Al Snow, one of the greatest trainers of all time. And these people are on our show. What? Like, it's
Al Snow is one of the most underrated wrestlers ever.
He's
The way
fucking
he can
hilarious.
tell a story. He can tell a story in the ring and everything. He's so underrated.
Yeah.
He literally wrestled himself for the hardcore championship.
Yeah.
Not many people can do something like that.
He technically beat himself for the hardcore championship.
Right. He won and lost the hardcore championship to himself.
That's
You think about it,
Who
it's
else
kind of
can
watching
say-
the guys in Japan when they wrestled that doll. The
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
just rip off a head.
Well, you ever seen GCW does it? They'll do the Invisible Man.
Yeah.
I
That
got
one's
super kicked by
hilarious.
Invisible Man.
Did you?
Yeah.
What a trick. I think he and Vacant are the same guy. I've never seen
Has to be.
Vacant. Yeah, I don't know. They're both from Parts Unknown. You know what I mean? I don't know. They look similar.
I'd say the
No, I
Miz
always
fought
think-
Cena a few weeks back, and I couldn't see him. There was a
I always tell people the Invisible Wrestler was really Jimmy. Remember R-Truth and Jimmy?
Oh yeah, God. I love that. I loved all
Little
that.
Jimmy.
Little Jimmy, yeah.
Dude,
Our truth is so good.
speaking of R-Truth, I saw a meme the other day that was hilarious. And they said, I just want R-Truth to show up on Dynamite one night and be like, hey, I'm here to put in my name for the Money in the Bank ladder match. And have somebody be like, dude, what are you talking about? He's like, this isn't Raw. And then just walk out. Dude, if the companies could work together like that, oh my God, the pop that would get. Just
You never know
hilarious.
this day and age. It's not single owned anymore. Well, it hasn't been single owned in a long time, but it's not single controlled anymore. You know what I mean? So you never know. I know one thing. It didn't take him long to get rid of Matt Riddle once Dana White had something to say.
Yeah, no, he was gone.
Golly. That broke my heart. I love me some bro.
Yeah, but Dana White hates him.
Yeah. It is what it is. I don't know.
That's why you don't burn bridges, buddy.
That's right.
That's true. Excuse me.
So are you a gamer at all, man? Do you play any video games at all, or is that not your cup of tea?
I used to play. I played mainly just Madden. I used to play the Call of Duty games and all that stuff, but I just can't do that stuff no more.
Yeah, I don't blame it.
I played Super Mario Brothers. I said Mario. Super Mario Brothers yesterday.
All
Super
right.
Mario Brothers.
I wanted to see like if I could just run through. Like, let me see if I can beat this real quick. And then I warped to level 4, and then I got to, and somehow I thought I could warp to level 8, but maybe
You
I
can't.
forgot
You got to
how
go
to
to
play.
4-2.
4-2. That's
4-2's got the secret one. Yeah. That's people forget that.
yeah. Damn it.
Well, look at you, man. We're gonna get you. We're breaking you down. You're gonna play. You downloaded Fortnite and you created a name. We're gonna get you playing.
I was playing Pokemon until something
Somebody
happened.
deleted your file. That's some heinous shit, man.
Yeah. Hours.
Out chasing Pokemon people, huh?
Yeah.
Look, we were just like that. We're younger than him, but we not by much. But he was just old enough to miss the Pokemon curve, and it hit us heavy. So we keep trying to get him to be like, "No, playing with us, man. Come on." But I definitely, it's like my younger generation, my cousins and stuff. They all got into that Yu-Gi-Oh stuff, and that missed my mark. And
Yeah.
I'm above Yu-Gi-Oh, so I get the stance from Mike. Not really wanting a Pokemon, but we're breaking him down.
That's right.
We're wearing
Get
you
him in
down.
there.
So, man, as far as matches of yours goes, is there a match that sticks out as one of your favorites of all time that you can just Like if you were somebody like show me a Ganger match, that's the one you're going to show them.
Myself versus Matt Tremont and in Dayton, Ohio, we did a light tube match. That would be one match I would definitely point out. One of my favorite matches to this day. And my other favorite match, only because I got to wrestle, the person I looked up to was Kevin Sullivan. I got to wrestle Kevin Sullivan at Rockstar. So,
Holy shit.
Dayton, Ohio, I'll never forget that day because it was one of the, for me, it was one of the best matches because I walked up to him. I was like, so what don't you want me to do to you? He kept pointing, don't hit me here, don't touch me here, don't do this, don't. And he goes, most importantly, don't hit me hard. Okay, so don't do anything to you. Gotcha. We're doing this whole match, and next thing I see, he's throwing me out the door in the parking lot. And we're working our way towards the street. And I look up, I said, Kevin, we're going towards the street. And just looks at me and goes, I know. We're out in the middle of the street, cars are stopped. We go back in the building, and all of a sudden, here comes all these cops thinking there was a fight going on. And
there was a fight going on.
We got done with the match, and the very next day, I didn't know he did it. He cut a promo on me, and it was awesome. And he goes, hey, anytime you wrestle, I want you to do a trio well. So I've done the trio well a couple times just because he told me I could, and that was one of my favorite moments was wrestling with him. But I loved wrestling Matt Tremont just because of the hardcore stuff.
Yeah.
But then my favorite ultimate match I ever did was I was in a tag team match, and I got to wrestle against Rich Swann and Sammy Callahan. That would be a match I would show anybody. I said, this is me.
Who were you tagging with?
Tom McLean.
Diehard Tom McLean.
Yep.
He was supposed to be a guest on the show as well, but he had a scheduling snafu, so we're trying to get him on a different date. He had to drive the bus the night that we scheduled him. So, work takes precedence over this, nonsense with us dads, but
Gotta pay the bills.
Yeah. But yeah, that's
four of my favorites. Was my favorite match of all time. I loved it. I was so worried about it, so scared working those two guys.
Hey, those two guys are freaking masters at what they do. We just watched Rich Swann and Gringo Loco on Sunday, and holy shit, man. It was supposed to be Gringo and Mox wasn't cleared, and Rich Swann came out, and apparently that had been a match that Gringo was looking forward to for a while. And it showed. It really showed. That was a good one.
What gets me, though, is sheesh, that heat afterwards. I'm not sure if you watched Ganger or not, but after that match, Gringo got on the microphone and called John Moxley a motherfucking pussy. And that...
Mox was on commentary.
He threw his fucking headset down, came, stormed the ring. And, bro, it was fairly good. I mean, hopefully I'm just being worked, but Jesus Christ, they look like they really want to fucking smack each other around a little bit. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully it happens January 25th. I'll tell you this much. It has to at this point. If they book it, it has to happen. Hell or high water. So
I'll probably go in January just for that match.
Bro, that they have
we'll be there.
Yeah, they were supposed to wrestle heat them up in August, and they couldn't because of a scheduling issue. Then this time it was because he wasn't cleared. So it started with Mox fears Gringo, and now he's saying Mox fears Gringo, and Mox is a pussy. And it's just like, whoa, you better stop that.
I mean, we all knew Mox was going to be cleared. I mean, after being dropped on his head.
Yeah, that was scary. That was very.
Well, that was the thing is like when he said he wasn't cleared, I was like, he's supposed to wrestle on Tuesday on Dynamite. Yeah. And I was like, I wonder if they don't want him to wrestle now because they don't want him to get hurt for Tuesday since they're going up against NXT. But then they came on before Dynamite tonight and said Mox wasn't cleared. And I was like, oh, he really is hurt. So,
well,
because you never know.
Still, I'll tell you one thing. They did a great job not pissing the crowd off by taking that match away. I think they did an excellent by putting it first. That's where I was like, oh, what the hell? This match is first. And then when Mox came out in regular clothes, I was like, oh, something's not right.
He's still in jeans.
He's still in jeans.
Were you guys there? My wife walked up by his table, and he has his it wasn't really a bodyguard, but it was a bodyguard with him. And she walks up like, John Moxley's bodyguard? She's like, what does John Moxley need a bodyguard for? He's like one of the toughest guys out there. And John just like, I don't know what she was expecting. I was like, yeah, that's Mox.
Yeah. Man, a few words.
Very, very few. I've met that man probably 30 times. And the last time that I talked to him, I was like, oh, I don't know if you remember me or not. And he was like, nope. Damn, dog. All right, cool. I get it, but shit.
Hey,
Didn't even
if
give
he's
him
not
a
one
second.
thing, he's brutally honest, man.
Hey, dog, it's fine. I've got video proof of me introducing him to the ring, so neener. I remember you. I remember you. How's that? Neener.
Don't care.
Hey, we make that much money. You don't need to care.
Right, exactly. Speaking of Matt Tremont, though, I kind of just became aware of him a few years ago when I really started getting into indie wrestling. And man, that dude has just gone to the woodshed so many times with his matches. And I saw his one that he did. I believe it was at his promotion at H2O. They did a 700 light tube match, which like broke the record. Oh my Lord. Like, I mean, he was in the hospital for like a week afterwards or something like that. Like, oh,
that's an expensive match.
Yeah.
700 light tubes.
God. That's Matt for you.
I mean,
well, it's Matt doing Matt.
What's that like? And I mean, I don't understand. Like, I enjoy some, deathmatch stuff, but some of it I'm just like, that might be a little much. But what is that mindset going into that where you're
when you get hit with those light tubes? I mean, it's amazing. I know it sounds horrible to say, but it's great. Think of different ways that hit each other in the heads but man, just doing those death matches, it's you sitting back and you get prepared, but you always have a few goals. And we're always talking about we want the crowd to chant, holy shit. We want them to say, you sick fuck. We want those chants. Yeah. So we try to get those chants, and we want to tell a story, because a lot of people don't get it. When we do these death matches, we know how to wrestle. We know how to tell a story. Then you got some people have no idea how to tell a story during a death match. Yeah. When you get the crowd to chant holy shit and you sick fucks, we accomplish our goals.
That's why I was talking so positive about Drake. He's got that to him as well. Man, some people just get in there and I want to hit you with this to hit you with that. Drake tells a story while he wrestles. That's why I liked him a lot.
It can be done.
It can be done. I mean, look at Hooks. And I know you know who Hooks is, but for those of you who aren't familiar with Hooks, Hooks is a local, I wouldn't say deathmatch guy necessarily, because he's done those, but he's more just hardcore match guy. And he does it very well, storytelling wise. You know what I mean? He did a match with William Wolf that I will never forget at a Battle on the Border show, and it was one of the greatest hardcore matches I've ever seen in my life. And it was just in Illinois, or in Indiana. You know what I mean? Like, there's so much great wrestling around here. Do you notice, this is you're 20 years in now, but do you notice a resurgence right now where it seems like it's hotter? Because it seems like it's these last 2 years
now than it's ever been in years.
I agree.
But I think a lot of it is a deal with the competition now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because now you really have, don't get me wrong, we all know about Monday Night Wars and stuff. We had those on Monday night. But now you got AEW, and then you got NXT, and you got WWE, and it's just, you got the WWE and NXT, of course, owned by the same people, but they just play them on different nights, and now you got so much competition to watch, and then you got your TNA, and it's more fun. And now they're bringing back ROH. I wish they'd bring out ROH by itself instead of tying in with AEW.
Yeah.
I know Impact has been on fire lately, man. They definitely are going to suffer from losing Sammy, but I tell you right now, they're not going to collapse, because Impact, I've went through phases with Impact where I've only read the results. For me, Impact just can't miss right now.
Well, no, you got Trey over there. Oh my God. That dude's amazing.
Trey and Zach, and then Myron's over there too.
Now. Yeah. Trey and Zach, they're outside of the ring, they're amazing people, but watching those two perform together, oh my God, it's dangerous.
Unreal.
Yep. We can Zach borrowed a Sharpie from us this weekend, and we told him he had to be on the show for it. And he was like, we'll talk about it. We'll talk. Good. All right.
We tried so hard.
Those guys are some of the most athletic human beings on the planet. And then we also get to watch them, like we did on Sunday, wrestle a literal in slow motion match against the Death Dolls and Jordan Gray. Like, I love wrestling, man. You can have these knockdown, drag out bangers. You can have death matches, but then you get those little, like Cephus has said this before, it's a variety show. And you get those matches where it's just, I've never seen that before, but they did a thing where they like made Jordan Grace like eat an edible, and she started going in slow motion, and then they all start going in slow motion. So good.
They did a good 45 seconds of just solid slow motion wrestling, and it was just like
it was beautiful.
That's watching wrestling now. That's why I became a huge fan again, because it's so different now.
It really is, man.
There's
so something amazing. For everybody. Something for everybody.
Like you just said, you got every variety, every type, everything to watch on one show, where back in the day you didn't have that.
Yeah.
Now you have it all on one show.
You couldn't have Danhausen and Wardlow on the same show back in the day, but now it makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Now you can have the Son of Taz and Danhausen be a tag team, and people pop for it.
Yeah. Which, by the way, you talk about somebody who just doesn't like. I see this resemblance, but he did like when somebody's like, "Oh, Taz's son is about to wrestle." I'm like, "Oh yeah, what's he?" I expected someone to look like you, Jeremy, or something, or like Taz.
I seen him come out, and I was like, "Huh, weird."
He kind of looks like the bird from Banjo-Kazooie a little bit.
Takes after his mom or something.
And that hair, whew.
Yeah,
his hair's getting too normal.
These days.
I want it to be crazier. I want the fucking sticking up out the sideways. I want crazy hook hair. You know what I mean? I don't like this short hook hair.
I can't wait until they are on some sort of streaming platform and we can go back a couple years and watch, like, because I remember watching when he was just part of like Team Taz and just sat there and ate chips and like didn't do anything. I want to go back and watch that stuff now that he's so prominent, and I think it'd be funny. Go back and watch that stuff.
Yeah, it'll be nice when AEW gets to the point where they can have little documentaries about stuff like that.
Yeah, for sure.
They've not quite got that much legs underneath them as far as content wise, but they're getting there. They're 5 years old now?
4.
2019, yeah.
Yep.
That's crazy. Time is flying.
Yeah, I mean, it's like Jeremy said, the competition, it breeds greatness. And now, do you think that that's caused more of a resurgence on the indie scene because there are now more places to work at the big league level, quote unquote? Like,
yeah, I think you got guys that actually want to take better care of how they look and eat right and do all the stuff that we were always taught when we first got in the league. But now you're seeing these younger guys they're doing more crazy stuff too, more flips, and they're more comedy shows as well. They're not just being, we gotta be serious the whole time. No, they're learning by watching. You can do everything and still get over. You don't need to go out and do the old school and point out a fan and say shut up and try to get over. They're learning a variety of ways of getting themselves over.
That's why I like Damian Chambers.
2 Revolver shows ago, Myron Reed and Zach Wentz had a match over a missing bag of weed. You know what I mean? Like stuff like that. It's awesome, dude.
They're able to make a story out of nonsense.
I think not only like the competition, but the kind of competition that AEW is, and allowing their talent to go out and work the indies and using that as a promotion in itself for their company,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what TNA does.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
They let them all work, but of course, then you got WWE. No. Although, but you imagine how much it would cost to book a guy like that. Imagine how much it would cost to book LA Knight right now.
Yeah.
I mean,
I literally have no idea. When I watch wrestlers and they said like $600 to book Cowboy James Storm, I was like, oh, no shit, that's it.
Can I just hang out with Cowboy for $600?
I remember
Invite him
when
to
I
my
saw
birthday
that.
I'm
party.
paying Cowboy James Storm $600. We're wrestling.
You imagine how pissed he was when he saw that on TV. Oh, he won't.
I was actually going to ask you that as a worker, is that something that's like you don't tell somebody's rate to the public like that?
No,
Yeah, I thought that was like,
keep it to yourself and the
Yeah.
promoter, because there's guys, unfortunately, they're not even getting half of what you're getting paid.
Right.
Yeah.
So I mean, we all have different prices, and it all about depends on the promoter if he's going to pay it. I'm so old now; I'll give you a price if you tell me no. Cool.
All right. See ya.
so.
All right, cool. I got a full time career. I'm too old. I'll never make it to the big leagues, but oh well.
Yeah, well, like even you may not make it to the big leagues, as you say, but like we said earlier, dog, you are a honorary NXT champion, dog. You can't take that away from you, man.
No, that's one thing no one will.
Yeah.
How
Can't be
heavy is that
pinned down.
sucker?
It's heavy. When I went coming home through the airport, and they stopped me in the airport, all the security, TNA guys, whatever you call those guys at the airports. They go, hey, can we take pictures with it? Can we hold it around our waist? I'm like, why don't you get me to my airplane on time? I'm cool. Do whatever you want.
So, man, you got anything on your horizon coming up, show wise, that we can?
I got this thing for XVW October 20th in Middletown. It's called The Purge, where you're going to see a lot of crazy hardcore matches at a fire department.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, at least help would be nearby if anybody needs it.
That's a way to raise some money, attention, get some people out there, have some fun. I mean, it's a good time.
Middletown's one town away from me. Sounds like I got something to do October 20th.
Middletown's a long way from me.
Yeah, it's over an hour for you guys, but for me,
Not
it's 15, 20 minutes.
Not the worst. Not the worst.
No. Everywhere.
Taco John's is on the way, so I mean,
I'll have dad duty that night. Daughter's got cheer practice.
I'll probably have dad duty after Taco John's, but that's a whole other thing.
Hey-oh!
Oh,
that's a different kind of
sanctimonious son of a bitch.
Oh. Oh, good Lord.
Well, yeah. Well, Jeremy, you got anything you want to plug before we get out of here? Anything?
No. I'm just glad you guys invited me on here. I don't want to do any cheap plugs. I just enjoy you guys, and please keep doing what you guys do. Man, like I said, I got to see you guys at the Revolver show, and fans like you guys is what we need. It's what keeps wrestling alive. And then a lot of people don't get that. It's just, but you're seeing all this money you're paying to watch these men and women. No, it's the fans that keep the wrestlers alive. It's you guys, the fans, that keeps WWE alive, keeps all the big shows alive. It's not the wrestlers, it's the fans. So when you said that you wanted to find something to do because you couldn't wrestle anymore, you found your niche, but you got to remember what you're doing helps people like me to get myself out there, and what you guys are doing helps us put people in the seats.
Yeah.
Hey,
thank you, man. Yeah,
appreciate that.
What you guys do is thank you. So you guys, I know you guys get people on your show, but no, thank you guys for what you do for us.
Hey, we appreciate it, man. It's a reciprocal. Like we say a lot, I think one of our catchphrases with our show is we love wrestling, and wrestling loves us back. So
yeah,
it's pretty cool.
And that's, you see all these, I've said this quite a few times, but you see all these podcasts and content pages and everything out there that, want to critique and break everything down. And that's kind of how we started. We were reviewing the shows and stuff. And after a while, I found myself like just hating everything. And I'm like, I want to be a fan. I don't want to be a critic. I want to enjoy wrestling. And I kind of brought myself back down to earth and just doing this show and being positive and talking about the things we enjoy about wrestling is infinitesimally more fun. For sure.
Because when you see people that critique, like, Vince McMahon, he's outdated, or Tony Khan, he's stupid. I'm sitting there when I watch people type all this up, like, you guys know you just bought this pay-per-view and you watched it.
Yeah.
If you want to critique it, why don't you look in the mirror and look how dumb you are for spending the money for something you hated?
Whoa!
Exactly.
Enjoy it. Love it.
And I've been able to enjoy shows that much more because I critiqued the hell out of WWE for a while because AEW is kind of what got me back into it. And I still, like, if I had a preference of the type of wrestling I enjoy, it's probably AEW. I still enjoy a lot of stuff on WWE, but I was getting to the point where I just hated everything on WWE television. I'm like, no, there's good stuff on here. Like, there's still stuff that I'm like, I didn't really like that, but that's, everybody's got an opinion. But now that I have this mindset, I enjoy everything so much more, and I'm very thankful.
I think WWE is getting better finally.
Oh, it is for sure. Yeah.
Dirty Dom is the shit.
I think AEW has been good from day one.
And there's
watching that.
Both shows they have their misses. Nobody's perfect.
No,
not every booking decision is going to be perfect, but as long as I can sit down on a Monday or a Wednesday or a Friday or Thursday, whatever, for 2 hours, I get to watch wrestling, and I don't have to. It's like Cephus has said, it's a little bit of an escape, and I get to enjoy myself.
That's
and
right.
It's something when I have my daughter, me and her sit and watch it together. It's something I get to do with her. So yeah,
something I can do to make my wife mad.
Hey, you give her love, man. She sat with you for 12 hours at pro wrestling this past Sunday.
She took a solid nap in between. So.
That's hey, she was still there. She was still there.
I know I introduced her to Taco John's, and that was probably a mistake on my part.
We're gonna have to go all the way up there now.
It's gonna be a lot of 45-minute drives for me. A lot.
Oh man, I tell you what, man, it's my 36th birthday today, and I got to be honest, man. A lot of people think I'm crazy when I say this, but I remember being born, and when I was born, I was so surprised I didn't talk for like a year and a half. So.
Wow.
Yeah. Dad world order, baby.
To
Gotta
be
get
fair,
a dad joke in there, baby.
I think you're crazy either way. So,
Well, crazies kept me from going insane, brother.
That's right.
I was crazy once. It drove me insane.
You boys got anything else before we get out of here?
Man. Hug your friends. Take the damn picture.
Take the picture. Enjoy life, man. Live it. Live it.
Stop and smell the roses.
Yeah, because tomorrow's not guaranteed.
That's true. That's true. I totally didn't even realize we had a couple comments here. Kayla Marie saying hi to the brother.
Hello, sister. And a happy birthday from Kim. Hi,
Kim.
Hell yeah.
All right. Well, I think that's going to about do it for us. We are the DWO podcast. I'm Big Rig Eric Maffey. He is Mr. Magnificent Mike Martin. He is Wrestling T-shirt guy Cephus. And he is the honorary NXT champion, Mr. Jeremy Ganger. Sir, thank you so much for coming on. It was an absolute honor to have you on here. As always, check us out on all the socials at DWO_podcast, Facebook at the DWO podcast, TikTok at DWO_pod, TeePublic Pro Wrestling Tees. Get that dad merch. I think that's pretty much it. I nailed it.
Yeah.
You're like the Micro Machine guy.
I am getting so good at this, guys.
Like Ace Ventura.
Make
sure you follow us and subscribe on it. Next time you got to do that.
Follow us on the social media. Yeah, absolutely. I'll do that from now on. I'm getting pretty good at it. Hey, everybody enjoy wrestling tonight. There's a lot of good stuff on. Top Dads out.